guys, this is Mrs. Stevenson, and today we are going to be doing our 2-point perspective castle drawing. Now for that you're going to need paper, a pencil, and a straight edge. I finally have a ruler, so I'm going to be using a ruler.
I know, mine's about.
Yeah, I brought this from school. Get out of here, eat your cereal. So, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find what 2 points are going to be your visuals. And you can just pick 2 points on the side of the page. Draw super light with a pencil because you're going to be erasing most of the lines that you draw, which sounds kind of weird, but these are just your guides. So I'll draw a dot here. I'm going to use my ruler to make sure it's nice and flat, nice and straight, and so that my dot is exactly even. All right, next you are going to be drawing a line super duper light in between each of the dots, from dot to dot. Boop. All right, oh good, I can barely see the line. Perfect. Next, what we need to do is we need to come up to figure out where do we want the top of our castle to be. So that's going to be our top point. So that could be anywhere as long as it is parallel, which means running side by side with the other line. Again, super light. You shouldn't even be able to see this much, but my lines are up. So if I can bring it closer and you can see. All right. Now, we need to draw a line that intersects, which means it crosses that line there. So that's going to be our middle point, which will be very important because, for example, like the crayon box, it would be this outer corner that will be our main focus. So it doesn't have to be exactly even because maybe your castle's a little further this way or a little further that way. It's okay as long as it is intersecting at a right angle. I remember we talked about right angles not too long ago. Not a big line, just a little one. Again, super light. Use your ruler so it's super straight. All right, that was a little darker than the others. That's okay because we can darken that one in. Now we are going to want to let's make that line go up to the other line. Maybe that's why. Let's have this line go all the way to this top line here because that's the top of our castle, right? That just makes sense. Now we're going to draw straight lines. So basically we're going to be drawing some angles. And it's going to go from our perspective dot to the top of our center line. So with your ruler, you're going to want to find the tops of those. All right, and you're going to draw very light because these are going to be erased. And from the other dot, and then on the bottom, we're going to do the same thing. This feels so much like math, but that's good. There's so much math in art. It's ridiculous. So much math in art. We've already used at least 6 terms that you use in math, and we're just getting started. It's from our starting point to our bottom vertice. All right, so we have our basic outline. Let me see if we can, maybe if I shine some light on it with my phone, you'll be able to see it better. Nope, that completely takes it away. Bummer, dude. All right, here we go. See if I can just bring it closer to you. You can see that we have our basic outline for our perspective and our main corner that's closest to us. Now, if you were to make these lines, like if you made the line a little shorter and so that your box was a little squishier, it would mean that your castle is further away. If it's bigger and you took up the whole page, it means your castle is closer. So you can determine depth using the size of your perspective box. Excuse me. Now, we're going to have a couple of guide dots up here. Again, super duper light. So a couple of guide dots up here. And a couple below. these are going to be the guidelines for like windows and turrets and buttresses and all the other little architectural details that we're going to need. And again, start from your perspective point. This is always your starting point. And draw, you know, about like that. You can leave one open if you want, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just draw some guidelines. And remember, we are going to be erasing these, so it's not going to look all weird. It's going to look, actually, if you wanted to leave it, it'd look pretty architectural and cool if you want to be an architect when you grow up. Architecture, being an architect is a very difficult job. It uses art and math and science and engineering, all kinds of cool stuff. My easel is not wanting to cooperate today. And I need these to be straight so that it doesn't look funny. So you're just going to draw some guidelines from all of those dots there. I'm going to put this on the ground for a second so I can get these guidelines nice and straight because I don't want to push hard. Pushing hard would be a very bad thing. Now make sure that you start at your perspective dot. Okay. And go up to your other guide dots. But that perspective dot on either side should be where you start every time. So all the lines should basically be coming from like the distance in the same spot. Okay, 2 more. And then we'll get on with business, I think. Hopefully. All right, cool. So there you go. I don't know why this side is darker. I apologize. I am not perfect. Not perfect. Okay. So now we're going to be drawing the turrets. And when we draw our turrets, oh, excuse me, we're going to be drawing like vertical lines. So like vertical is straight up and down. We can use, I think I might just freehand it. And we'll make a few turrets. There's always a turret on the corner. And so we're going to make sure that this one, we're going to go straight down. And then on the other side, straight down, there's a turret. All right, down to these guidelines, these first guidelines. All right, let's do a few more. Turrets, there's like the towers. If you use your ruler, yours will be a lot straighter than mine is, but it's all right. Notice how they're getting smaller as they get further away, right? Now for this last turret, we're going to make the end of the castle, so you're going to go all the way to that bottom guideline. And then make one in front of it just so that you know it's a turret. All right, so let's make some over here on this side. Vertical line straight to the first guideline. They get smaller as you go away. And then the last one, you'll make one to the guideline, and then right beside it, you'll make it go all the way down. And I think right under the turrets, I'm going to, actually, let's just go ahead and darken that entire line because that's going to be the top of the castle. Maybe not under the turrets. So under the turrets, the guideline needs to stay soft. So between the turrets, you can darken up that guideline. You have to look and decide where your turrets are. And you can go ahead and darken the line above to make the turrets. Nope. Mrs. Stevenson needs to pay closer attention to what she's doing. So you can start to see our castle taking some shape here. So darken the one below and then darken the one above. Below, above. Below, above. And now you can really start to see, you can darken the lines for the turrets. Make it look real good. You can start to see our castle taking a little shape. I'm going to go ahead and darken up the bottom line here. I should be using a ruler. If you want it to look straight and fancy, use a ruler, but I'm not too concerned about it. All right, so now we have the basic outline of our castle. So, now, hey Aaron? telling my daughter I need her help. We need to make these turrets look 3D. And so how we're going to do that is we're going to add some depth to them. So for this one, you want these lines to be like kind of parallel. Go backwards, not parallel, kind of, what's the word? Is it juxtaposition? Maybe. Let's go with that. You look it up and you tell me if I'm wrong. Mrs. Stevenson forgot how to add depth. Isn't that silly? Let me look in my book. I don't like looking at my book, but it'll be all right. All right. So we're just going to draw straight lines to the turret next to it. And if you want to, you can come down. That way, you know, it's not too... You can start to see some of these things come together here. Alright, so now you see our castle's getting some depth to it, which is fantastic. I am using a book to help me, to guide me, so that I teach you correctly. This is my first time teaching 2-point perspective. I really, really like it. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right for you guys. Thank you, Erin, for your assistance. So next, what are we doing next? Next, we're going to draw some windows. So again, the windows should line up with our guidelines here. Let's see if I can move my camera down a little bit. Our windows are going to line up here. And we're going to make them rectangular. So they're going to be, you know, smaller in the back. We'll do 3 windows, like the book's doing. And I will tell you the book I'm using, that way if you want to go find this book to help you too. Maybe you will do a better job than I'm doing. Alright, so there's some windows, and we are going to add some depth to those too. So to add some depth, you come from the corner and you draw a diagonal line. And you come straight down. Straight down? Sure. And then we're going to come straight across up here. So there's a little bit of a, we'll make it a little bit at the bottom there. Okay. And then we'll do that to the other ones too. Just to add some depth here. So now we have some little windows there. And we do need to add under each window another guideline. So just like a straight line down. Nice and light until we know what we're doing with them. And then on this side we'll add a couple too. And remember, go vertical. When you're making more lines, go vertical. Okay, we're going to make some supports for like our buttresses. A buttress is like a structure that holds up the castle. You'll see, if you watch like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you'll see all these angled and designed structures that look like they're just jutting out. They're actually supporting the structure. So in our castle, we're going to make some buttresses, which are just some triangles. Let's add some triangles. So for our triangles, we're going to go, it's going to be out and straight. Out and straight. Out and straight. Let's draw the bottom line first, and then we can just connect at the vertex here. Or the vertex. Vertex. Mrs. Stevenson is a vertex, not a vertex. Alright, so now we have a few buttresses started down here. Alright. And we are going to make those look a little 3D again, okay? So you're going to draw another line behind it that's parallel, and then make the bottom. Parallel line, make the bottom. Parallel line, make the bottom. And I'm going to go in here, I'm going to erase the castle lines that should probably not be there. You can do the same. please forgive my face. Sometimes I get a little serious when I'm doing art because I want it to look my very personal best. All right. And I can't wait to see yours. See how great your castles look. I'm going to go ahead and erase this little line here. Make one on this side and connect it. Because now they look like they're actually holding something up instead of just kind of being lines coming off of the thing. Alright. Let's go ahead and erase a little bit on this side. Parallel and connect. Parallel lines never intersect. So that's a little something to remember. So we have our buttresses up. Now, between these buttresses, we're going to make like a big arch for like the drawbridge. But we need to figure out where our drawbridge is going to end. Let's just make it go to the other one. So we're going to go straight up to here. And we're going to curve it down and then straight down. And over here too. So that's our entryway. Let me erase the lines that are inside here. I don't know why my paper is blue in some places. That's very strange. Because now we have an entryway. I don't know why mine looks so shaky, but it does, and it's going to be okay. So now it's really starting to come together and look like a castle. Our arch needs some depth, so let's see. We need to make like an interior thing, like an interior wall. So I'm going to start on this side because since we can see this side, we want to start on this side because we can't see like the back side of these. We can only see this front side, so we want to be able to see the front side of this. So we're going to curve up, and the curve is eventually going to vanish and touch the top. So that is the basics of our castle right here. We can go in now and we can erase, give me a moment, and erase all of our guidelines. Bloop, 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 because we do not need them anymore. So any guidelines, just go in and erase. If it's not part of the castle, get out of here. You can erase your guide points because you're not going to be needing those. If you happen to erase part of your castle, don't stress. It's not a big deal. We're going to erase some of the lines on the inside here because we don't need them anymore because we are awesome. We are done with the basic structure. I need a different eraser, I think. The basic structure of our castle, and now we can start to decorate. And I'm going to show you in just a moment how to add some little decorations and stuff. Let me get my lines erased so I can see what I'm doing though. Because we are done with our perspective lines. Forgive me, my nose itches. I've got some allergies. Alright. We are erasing, erasing, erasing. This is why I said draw it super duper light. That way it'll erase nice and easy for you. There's just so many. But that means we did it right. So our castle is almost complete. Hello, Erin. Castle.
That's pretty.
Castle. Now, when we come back in here, and we're coloring, we're going to want to shade, like, we're going to add some value to it. So, like,
The bridge.
this side will be kind of shaded in. Because our light source is coming from this way. So let's make our light source over here. So you'll probably draw like a sun over here, and this will be our light source. And so anything that, if you think about it, where would our light source be hitting? So this would... No, you may not redraw my sun. And over here, we'll shade inside here just because it's dark. And this entire side might be shaded. I'm not going to add too much value right now because you guys are got other things to do today. So don't forget to add that value. It really, really adds like a three-dimensional feel to it. Now, it's a castle, so there are bricks. So if you wanted to come in here and draw like just a few clusters of bricks, that'd be okay. You know, just in different spots around the castle. So that is our 2-point perspective castle. You could add, you know, some grass, or maybe you want to add a moat. A moat is like a source of water around it to try and keep out the enemies. So, you know, maybe you add a moat, maybe you add a dragon or a princess or a knight, whatever you want to do. And I would love to see your 2-point perspective castles after they're all decorated. Maybe you have some flags coming off the top of it. Really deck it out. All right, guys. Hopefully I get to see your creations. Bye.